Do we want to leave that open for when we call, are we gonna call folks up to talk to them or no?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. No, that's a good idea.
Holy, warn a guy, would you?
There we go.
You know what? I move we put dimmer switches on all these
Yeah.
lights and gradually bring them up.
Thanks, Dave. All right, the administration committee will come to order. All 5 members are present. And item 28 is a resolution authorizing the purchase of 25 Badger books and printers, 5 additional printers, 10 upgraded routers, and 3 power bricks from PDS, a Converge company, for a total sum of $53,867.10.
Move approval.
We have a motion from Alderman Lysick and a second from Alderman Vitale. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you. I know.
Development Committee will now come to order. All members are present. First item on the agenda is item 32. It's a resolution to approve a conditional use permit for a community living arrangement of up to 12 persons at 1467 South 75th Street. We had the hearing on this about a month ago or so. Second. It's been moved and seconded for approval. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. No.
Carried on a 4-to-1 vote. Item 33 is a resolution to allocate $30,000 of tax increment District Number 9 Pioneer Neighborhood Affordable Housing Funds for the demolition of 1329 South 73rd Street.
And I second.
It's been moved and seconded for approval. Is there any discussion? All in
And I just, Mr. Chair, yeah, real quickly, I think there was a communication from Patrick about
Right.
how there's such, the building is in such disrepair, better to tear it down rather than it burn down or something worse happening. And this seems to be an appropriate use of a funding source that we have. So, yes.
Patrick?
I did want to point out that the funds were from when we closed TIF number 9. There was a resolution that said we would keep the TIF open one more year and we would put funds aside
Right.
for improving housing.
Mhm.
There's 2 aspects to that, and that's why it says affordable housing. Is 75% of those funds have to be set aside for affordable housing, and the balance can be used for improving the housing stock. In this case, we're allocating funds under the term improving the housing stock. Mainly because this is a blighted property by both code enforcement and the health department. If you've seen the pictures of this property, it's absolutely appalling. So it's a blight on the neighborhood.
Drove
remove it, and then that way it maintains the quality of the neighborhood.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 34 is a resolution to approve the purchase of 52 Star West Burnham from Milwaukee County. Move approval. It's been moved and seconded for approval. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 35 on the agenda is a new Class B, Class C wine license application for the Bread Peddlers at 1436 South 92nd Street. Agent Samantha Schneider. Samantha, are you here? Want to come up to? Can you take the microphone there, please? So you want a wine and beer license for a bakery?
Correct. We're hoping to expand our hours. Right now, we do a full coffee bar with tea in the breakfast breakfast hours, and then hoping to open up later on in the day and have with our fresh baguettes and different cheese boards to accompany the wine and beer.
Okay. You have, I'm looking at, where did I see that? Oh, here. Your expected sales, 70% food, 30% other, and nothing for liquor?
Yes, we talked about that. We're expecting about 5% in that department.
5% liquor? Okay, yeah, I wouldn't expect much in the bakery.
Correct.
I can't imagine too many people coming in and getting a beer and a blueberry muffin or something.
I challenge that.
Any questions for the applicant?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are you familiar with the liquor laws of the state of Wisconsin?
Yes,
You've done your training and you've done all of the,
correct. We
that's all.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, and this is a question for whoever can answer it. You don't need, for a Class B beer and wine, Class C wine license, you don't need a licensed bartender on the premise. Is that correct?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
you do in fact need either the licensee or a licensed bartender on site, even for those licenses.
You do.
Yep.
Thanks for clarifying that for me. So, yeah, and you were aware of that, I bet, right?
Yeah, well, we both the co-owner and I have both taken the class, but we'll make sure to accommodate all of those
Make
rules.
sure you got to get a license
Got to get a license.
Mhm.
I
from
think
us.
you're okay as the agent.
Correct. Yeah, the agent is already in,
Yep.
but anyone else who's not the agent does have to have an actual
Yep.
operator's license.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried. Has to be
forward
passed
to
by the
it.
full council yet.
Okay, thank you.
Item 36 on the agenda is a new Class B Tavern license application for Talia's Event Venue LLC, doing business as Talia's Event Venue, 7423 West Greenfield Avenue, Jerice Taliaferro. Jerice, are you here? You want to come up here? Okay, I was looking at your application here, and you've got your projected sales of 30% alcohol, 10% food, and 60% entertainment. But you haven't put in for an entertainment license.
That's correct. I read the application a little bit wrong.
Okay.
I was under the pressure that the services that I would be offering would be under the entertainment portion of that application.
This is going to be offering.
Just hosting events, networking events, corporate events, birthday celebrations, baby gender reveals, things of that nature.
Well, you list your hours of operation as Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and closed Saturday to Sunday.
That's correct. Yes, that was also wrong.
So what do you really want?
Well, it'll be 9 a.m. to 12 a.m., Monday through Sunday, for operation hours. Those were technically my office hours.
Mr. Chair, if I could,
Oh, no,
I
I-
spoke to the applicant this afternoon, and I'm going to call this a function of the post-COVID days that we're living in. If you didn't realize in the past, if an applicant had come in into the front counter and filled out his application, he likely would have had a conversation with somebody from the clerk's office. But everything's online now, and it's not that our thing is confusing. It's just that it's not
confusing.
really self-explanatory. So,
I understand it, Alderman Weigel, but I want to remind not only this applicant, but other applicants, that if they don't understand the application, they can pick up the phone and call the clerk's office, or they can stop in and talk to the clerk anyway.
Yep.
The online situation is for convenience, both for the applicant and for staff.
So, in speaking to the applicant, I suggested that maybe we hold this, we have another meeting in 2 weeks, and he can edit his application so it more accurately reflects his intentions for his business. And that way, we don't have any problems with, because if we were to vote to deny it, there'd be essentially a suspension of time in which he could reapply then. But I had one small conversation with him, and I think we can flesh out exactly what his business is going to be, or what he intends it to be, and to be correctly reflected in his application in the future. There's going to be some change. He will likely, I believe, at least need an entertainment license. And I don't know that he needs a food component in his application, but that's a conversation for another
Okay,
time.
then we'll hold this matter for,
Mr. Chair,
you get your application in order and resubmit everything.
Thank you.
Okay,
I just
thank
have a
you.
question
Sure.
real quick. Just because I'm not going to be at the next meeting, this is solely going to be a rentable property? So rented venue,
Yes, private events. We'll be hosting private events.
private
Yes,
events?
Yes.
And then,
You're not going to have people walking into the.
No, that's correct. Yes, we're only doing private events.
and then you would be supplying the alcohol,
That's
not
correct.
carrying?
That's
And
correct.
would you allow them to bring in catered food or their own food
Yes, with our kitchen, yes.
with use of your kitchen?
Yes, yes.
So, Mr. Chair, Alderperson Keene brought it up. I think this is maybe worth a discussion, whether it's this committee or another, on what a private event is, because I think we've just recently seen an event where a space was booked for one idea, and then the customer essentially opens it up to a open party with
Charging a cover charge.
with charging a cover charge,
We won't be doing that.
promoted on the internet, where a party is maybe promoted as one thing, say a family celebration, so all sorts of strangers show up and they're in the door. And I think I want to, maybe we need to look at how we license these. When is it a private event? You know, how do we define that? You know, so, but that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see that this applicant is expressing that these will be private-only events.
Absolutely.
No one's going to rent it to have a band
Nope.
and then open the door up and,
Right, that's
and
correct.
essentially run a
Well,
nightclub in
that's
your
the
event
list.
space. Yeah.
Right.
And a staff member would be on site during all
The
events?
entire time we're open and operating, there'll be staff,
And a licensed
myself.
with a licensed
absolutely.
bartender?
Yes.
Cameras, everything.
Cameras, everything. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Chair?
so move to hold?
Hold. We're gonna hold this for a couple.
Yeah, just
Attorney.
since the topic came up and Alderperson Keene is not going to be here next time, one suggestion would be to place a condition on this license that it is for private events. And although it'd be fine to define private event, the council ultimately defines what that is during a revocation hearing, 'cause it's a condition placed by the council. So it doesn't have to be separately defined. The way I would interpret it is that members of the public are not invited either by the licensee nor by the person who's renting it. It has to be a specified guest list. And anything other than that would not be a private event.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We'll see
Motion
you
to hold.
again.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Yep. Next
Never mind.
item on the agenda is item 37. It's a new Class B Tavern license application for Flying Unicorn LLC, doing business as the Thirsty Cactus Saloon, 6108 West Burnham. Agent Craig Silber. Mr. Silber here.
Good evening.
Hi. You've applied for a full Class B tavern license. Have you run a tavern before or been in a business?
I've been in the business, yes. Bartending and
Where?
at Flappers.
Okay. You're familiar then with all of the rules of the state of Wisconsin, the liquor license laws, and,
Yes, I am.
okay, you've done all your, I see you have no violations in your record. Personally, your hours of operation are standard. Projected sales, 89% alcohol, 5% entertainment, 5% food, and 1% cigarettes. That's, I think, pretty typical for a tavern.
Mr. Chair? I just have
And
a
I'll
que-
second as we go, before we
Okay.
go on.
do you plan on, I noticed that you don't live in close to the tavern. Do you plan to run the tavern yourself? Are you gonna have a bar manager? Is it gonna be kind of split? How do you plan to operate?
Both. I do live very close. It's, I mean, within probably about 10 minutes drive, right up Greenfield Avenue. And I do have parents that live like 5 minutes away as well, in case like there's an emergency or something, but yeah, I plan on operating it,
You plan on obviously having bartenders, but you mostly being there?
yes. And someone else who's gonna help me with operations as well.
Perfect.
Gonna keep it pretty much the same as it is now, or any drastic changes?
Hopefully a little nicer than the condition it's in now.
It's always what
But-
we want to hear.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, it needs a little love. Maybe, some flower boxes out front and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the same.
Okay, basically same type of business, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chair? So the Silber name is not unfamiliar in the tavern? You're a nephew, son, relative?
I'm a son.
Okay, just
Yep.
curious. Always run decent places around, town.
Yeah.
Do you have a day job also, or is this going to be?
This is going to be my full-time.
This is going to be your full-time job. So
Yes.
you're committed, and you bought the building.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I like to hear that.
Also a dad too, so that's
Okay.
that's really the full-time job. But
Okay. Well, no, not, 4 kids. You know,
Yeah.
they grow up, they'll be gone someday.
Yeah.
But last time I was in there, they had a bunch of pool tables.
They did. Yes, they have 3 in there right now.
And were you planning on keeping that?
Not all 3, no.
Okay. Not that I'm anti-pool
Scale
table.
it back a little.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Thank you. That was it.
my pleasure.
Any other questions, comments? If not, it's been moved and seconded for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you guys for your time.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
I
Good
did
luck.
want to mention too that everyone I spoke with and dealt with at West Dallas so far has been like over the top awesome.
Good.
Like every single person I talked to, which is hard to say when, normally when you call somebody, you catch somebody on a bad day, but literally every single person I talked to, in whether it was like permits for dumpster or whatever, like they were all just like, almost like family. Like you could tell they like really cared, So
That's nice.
That's great.
That's what
I
we want to hear
appreciate
too.
it. Yeah. So that's I just want to make a mention of that because you don't get that every day.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Great.
appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Next item on the agenda is item 38, Comprehensive Planning 2045 discussion. Steve?
Every 10 years, let's update it. Planning is definitely more interested in more routine updates to this, just to make sure that the plan is viable looking forward, updating redevelopment potential areas within the city, our comprehensive land use map, and this will make it easier, I think, and I think more advantageous for future redevelopment efforts and working with our economic development team and other city departments. So what I'm asking for is just, permission or directive to proceed on a 2045 comprehensive plan update. And with that, we would have routine check-ins with our Safety and Development Committee, the Common Council, as needed, as frequently as you wish. We'd also be doing a public engagement process of reaching out to the public, organizations, businesses within the city, looking for some stakeholders. So it'd be an external group of stakeholders as well as an internal group. And probably at some point we'd all meet and put our ideas together. But we hope to start this process with a kickoff in later this month, and then finish sometime around December. So we're fortunate right now to have some really solid, full staffed within the planning office, and looking forward to doing these planning updates. So if there's any questions, anything you want to touch upon, clarifications, just feel free.
I
Let
don't
me
have
know.
much of a question,
Thank you.
but I think 2045, I'll be 105,
105, okay. We'll look forward to celebrating with you, Vince.
Okay, moving on, item 39 on your agenda is going to be held. Item 40 is a resolution for a conditional use permit for Helium, the,
Motion to approve.
Second.
any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Steve, is this the same concept? It's open to the public for Helium?
Yes, both will be open to the public.
And then it's parking, like street parking, kind of how 84th is?
Helium's a little
Or-
bit different. There is opportunity on both 6 Points, 66th Street, as well as National, but they also have off-street parking as well.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Item 41 is a resolution for conditional use for Dunham Auto Sales.
move for approval.
Second.
Second it.
It's been moved and seconded for
And I have one
approval.
question for Steve then also, if I may,
Yep,
Mr.
go ahead.
Chair. Yeah, and Steve, just following up on the discussion in the council chambers, we're not going to have, it's indoor vehicle sales, so we're not going to have vehicles on the lot with signs on them saying low,
Yeah.
prices this low, I must be crazy type
If-
signs.
If anyone sees that, I guess give our
Yeah.
office a call, and we can
Dan's sitting right there.
start the, yeah. Call Dan right now.
Call
You can call me too, but
Yeah,
we'll,
yeah,
we'll work towards ensuring that's not the case.
sure, okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 42 is a resolution for a conditional use permit for Chase Bank at 2678 South 108th Street.
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 43 is a resolution for conditional use permit for Fire Cycle Fitness at 1468
Move for
South
approval.
84th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 44 is a resolution to approve the vacation and discontinuance of a portion of public right-of-way at 92nd and Cleveland.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion
Carried.
to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Hey.